The loss of a spouse is among the most heart-wrenching experiences one can endure. It's more than just the emotional burden of sorrow. The sheer volume of choices that unexpectedly rests on you is daunting. During moments like these, it's simple to make decisions driven by hurt, isolation, or external influences. However, certain choices may result in avoidable regrets, financial challenges, or emotional hurdles that complicate the healing process. It's important to remember that grieving is a personal journey, but there are specific matters you should carefully consider before agreeing to. In this video, we will explore 5 things to avoid saying yes to after the loss of a spouse, highlighting common missteps that many individuals make without realizing it, only to come to the understanding later that they weren't genuinely prepared. These are the challenges that can turn an already tough situation into an even more complex one. By being aware of them beforehand, you can safeguard your emotional, financial, and physical health. Stick around until the conclusion, as these insights go beyond merely steering clear of errors. It's all about ensuring you move through this phase of your life with understanding, respect, and the assistance you need. Let's begin. First, rushing into significant financial choices prematurely. After losing a spouse, a frequent error individuals often commit is hurrying into significant financial choices. It's natural to find yourself confronted with bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and perhaps even the dilemma of deciding whether to retain or sell your home. During times of sorrow, it may seem that acting quickly can offer a sense of stability or control. However, the truth is that grief can obscure judgment, and making hasty financial decisions can result in regrets later on. In times of heightened emotions, choices that appear rational at the time may not serve well in the future. Numerous widows and widowers experience pressure from well-intentioned friends, financial advisors, or even their own feelings of urgency to sell their home, relocate to a different site, or undertake significant financial commitments. However, the period following the loss of a spouse is one of emotional adaptation rather than engaging in financial gambles. Taking a moment to stop is the wisest decision you can choose. Allow yourself the necessary time to come to terms with your loss before making decisions that may impact your future. Consider the situation of 74-year-old Margaret. Following the loss of her husband, numerous individuals advised her to quickly reduce the size of her home. The concept was logical: reduced space to manage, decreased costs, and a new beginning. In just a few months, she managed to sell the house. After 40 years of living there, they relocated to a smaller apartment in a different town. However, after the initial shock of loss faded, she came to understand that her decision had been made in a moment of panic. She longed for her familiar surroundings, her neighbors, and the comfort that her home offered. Looking back, she regretted not taking more time before making such a significant decision. Financial choices extend beyond just real estate. Numerous recently widowed individuals fall prey to financial predators who view their vulnerability as a chance to exploit. Be wary of unsolicited investment opportunities, aggressive sales tactics, or even advice from friends that, while well-meaning, may not be well-informed. If someone is pressuring you to sign documents, make a significant withdrawal, or invest in something hastily, step back for a moment. Sound financial choices are seldom those made hastily. A frequent error is hastily distributing money or assets. Loss frequently ignites a deep urge to support others, whether they are children, grandchildren, charities, or dear friends. Although being generous is admirable, giving away substantial amounts of money or splitting assets too soon can put you at risk in the future. What appears feasible right now may not be viable in the long run. Prior to taking any significant financial actions, it's advisable to seek guidance from a reliable expert who comprehends your long-term objectives and can assist you in planning effectively. The initial year following the loss of a spouse should focus on achieving stability rather than making significant financial alterations. Professionals frequently advise adhering to the one-year guideline, which implies postponing any permanent financial choices for a minimum of 1 year. This provides an opportunity for the initial emotional impact to subside, enabling you to reflect thoughtfully on what is genuinely best for your future. The loss of a spouse represents one of the most challenging changes one can face in life. What you definitely want to avoid is extra pressure from financial errors. This situation was preventable. Be patient, look for reliable advice, and keep in mind that there's no need to hurry. Clear decisions lead to the best outcomes, not those made in sorrow. Second, distancing yourself from friends and family. Following the loss of a partner, it's completely normal to seek solitude. Grief is profoundly individual and at times isolating. It seems like the sole method to navigate through the hurt. While it's essential to carve out time for yourself, isolating from friends and family can result in a profound feeling of loneliness, a version that complicates the healing process. A lot of individuals develop the tendency to retreat, convincing themselves that they simply require additional time. However, the reality is that solitude can swiftly evolve into a cycle that's hard to escape. Emotional well-being is significantly influenced by human connection, particularly in moments of loss. When individuals isolate themselves for extended periods, they frequently encounter heightened emotions of sadness, anxiety, and a potential deterioration in physical health. Research indicates that extended periods of social isolation may compromise the immune system, elevate blood pressure, and potentially reduce lifespan. Conversely, maintaining connections, even in minor ways, can alleviate the emotional weight and offer a vital sense of support. Consider the situation of 78-year-old Walter. After the loss of his wife of 52 years, he ceased to respond to phone calls, avoided family gatherings, and seldom ventured outside. He convinced himself that he simply wasn't in the mood for conversation, that others wouldn't grasp the depth of his sorrow, and that solitude felt more manageable. As time went on, rather than improving, he found himself in a deeper state of despair. His days merged into one another, his vitality waned, and his hunger shifted. A neighbor's persistent invitation for coffee marked a turning point. That initial chat evolved into a regular occurrence, eventually becoming a little ritual of gathering with friends. As he became more involved, a sense of lightness enveloped him, not due to the absence of pain, but because he understood he shared it with others. It's important not to push yourself into large social settings until you feel prepared. It's about making gradual moves to maintain that connection. Engaging in activities like answering a phone call, taking a brief stroll with a friend, or participating in a support group can be effective in preventing deep loneliness. If you're not in the mood to chat, that's perfectly fine. Being in the presence of others, even if it's merely eavesdropping on a discussion, can serve as a reminder that life goes on and that assistance is there for you when required. One common error individuals often commit is distancing themselves from those who genuinely care. At times, sorrow can lead to feelings of frustration, fatigue, or the impression that those around you fail to grasp your experience. However, isolating individuals entirely can foster unwarranted separation between you and those who truly wish to assist. The people you care about might not say exactly what you need to hear, but just having them around can truly matter. Allowing them to enter gradually can offer solace even when language falls short. It's crucial to find support from individuals who can relate to your journey. Engaging with individuals who have experienced comparable loss, whether in a grief support group, a community event, or an online platform, can be profoundly restorative. Engaging with individuals who genuinely comprehend your experiences can affirm your emotions and offer comfort that you are not isolated. Grief operates on its own timeline, and healing has no prescribed method. However, remaining entirely alone only complicates the journey. Discovering subtle methods to reestablish connections with others at your own speed can offer resilience, encouragement, and even instances of surprising happiness. Keep in mind, you are not alone in bearing the burden of loss. Supportive individuals are present, eager to assist you, and ready to help you progress gradually. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciating these insights, please drop a comment with the number 2 below to show me you're present. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the videos. Your assistance enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and motivates you. Let's proceed from here. Thirdly, neglecting your own health and well-being. After the loss of a spouse, it's common for individuals to become so overwhelmed by sorrow that they neglect their own well-being. When facing loss, it can be simple to delay doctor's visits, overlook meals, or allow daily habits to fall by the wayside. Certain individuals may experience guilt when focusing on their own well-being, as though putting their health first could lessen the intensity of their love or sorrow. However, the truth is that ignoring your well-being won't help you reconnect with the one you lost. Your path ahead becomes more challenging. The impact of grief on the body is often underestimated by many individuals. Research indicates that the loss of a partner heightens the likelihood of heart issues, diminished immune response, and potential cognitive deterioration. The burden of grief can result in elevated blood pressure, interrupted sleep patterns, and fluctuations in appetite. Some individuals may find their appetite waning, while others may gravitate towards unhealthy comfort foods. As time progresses, these alterations can significantly impact both physical and mental well-being. Focus on making small choices that support your body's strength as you move through this challenging period, rather than expecting to feel normal right away. Consider the situation of 81-year-old James. Following the loss of his wife, he ceased preparing meals for himself. He convinced himself that he simply wasn't hungry, and when he did eat, it was typically something fast and prepackaged. After a couple of months, he began to feel increasingly weak, struggled with sleep, and experienced persistent fatigue. His daughter observed the shift and motivated him to resume eating regular meals, even in the absence of hunger. After making minor changes, such as preparing easy, healthy meals and increasing his water intake, he noticed an improvement in his energy levels, a stabilization of his mood, and a greater ability to cope with the emotions associated with grief. Taking care of yourself goes beyond just what you eat. It encompasses physical activity, rest, and mental well-being. Numerous individuals who experience the loss of a partner cease their exercise routines, not due to a lack of desire to remain active, but rather because they no longer have a companion to share the activity with. However, maintaining physical activity, even if it's merely a brief daily stroll, has demonstrated benefits in lowering stress, enhancing mood, and potentially increasing lifespan. In certain situations, participating in a nearby walking group or fitness class can offer physical advantages along with essential social interaction. A frequent error is overlooking medical checkups. Numerous widows and widowers postpone regular doctor appointments or hesitate to seek medical attention due to feelings of being overwhelmed. Now is the moment when prioritizing your health is crucial, like never before. It's time to schedule a doctor's appointment if you haven't been in a while. Regular checkups, managing current health issues, and keeping track of medications can greatly impact your physical and emotional well-being. Mental health holds equal significance to physical health. Loss can result in sadness, worry, and a sense of despair, particularly when paired with loneliness. If you're facing difficulties, feel free to ask for assistance. Talking to a counselor, participating in a grief support group, or simply confiding in a trusted friend can offer comfort and support. You're not alone in this, and Reaching out for help is a strength, not a weakness. This is a move towards recovery. Your partner would have wished for you to prioritize your well-being. Remembering them doesn't require compromising your own health. It signifies persisting in a manner that enables you to discover instances of tranquility and resilience. It's perfectly natural to mourn, to allow yourself the necessary time, and to experience the heaviness of loss. Amidst everything, don't forget that your health is important. Your presence matters, and it's important to safeguard your well-being. The absence of a spouse creates an emotional gap that often seems unfillable. For numerous individuals, the solitude that ensues is among the most challenging aspects of mourning, and the thought of seeking companionship once more might appear to be the sole method of dealing with it. Although seeking connection is natural, a frequent error made by widows and widowers is hurrying into a new relationship before they have completely worked through their grief. The feelings of loss can generate a strong desire for solace, yet rushing into significant romantic choices can result in additional pain, uncertainty, and remorse. Grief is not bound by a schedule, and each person recovers in their own time. Some individuals may spend years contemplating the idea of dating again, whereas others might feel prepared much sooner. However, when feelings are intense, the likelihood of starting a relationship for inappropriate motives increases significantly. Numerous individuals often search for a partner not out of genuine readiness, but rather to fill a void, evade solitude, or run from their suffering. These connections frequently start with intense feelings, yet they fall short of the stability required for lasting achievement. Consider the situation of 72-year-old Barbara. Only a few months after the passing of her husband, with whom she shared nearly 5 decades, she connected with someone through a mutual friend and swiftly began a new relationship. Initially, it seemed like the connection she longed for, a person to converse with, to enjoy meals alongside, to divert her from the crushing solitude. However, as time passed, she began to understand that she wasn't genuinely prepared. The relationship progressed more quickly than she anticipated, and before long, she found herself feeling confined in a situation that seemed off. Ultimately, she needed to pause and focus on her own well-being. Looking back, she regretted not allowing herself more time before committing to such a significant choice. A fresh relationship ought to focus on authentic connection rather than merely providing emotional comfort. After many years together, the habits, routines, and shared memories between a couple become profoundly embedded. Rushing into a relationship without addressing that loss can result in unfair comparisons, unrealistic expectations, and a sense of guilt. Some widows and widowers find themselves grappling with mixed feelings, desiring to move on while feeling as though they are betraying their lost loved ones. These emotions are completely normal, but it's important to recognize and process them before moving on to a new chapter. A further issue is the risk of being exposed to individuals with harmful motives. Regrettably, some individuals exploit those in mourning, providing emotional assistance solely to manipulate or financially take advantage of them. Fraudsters and even those with good intentions but opportunistic motives frequently target widowed seniors, aware that they might be emotionally vulnerable and seeking companionship. This is why it's important to have faith in your gut feelings and to proceed at your own pace. If you feel rushed to make decisions, pressured into financial commitments, or encouraged to cut ties with loved ones, these are warning signs that must not be overlooked. This does not imply shunning love or companionship indefinitely. Numerous widows and widowers discover significant relationships as they age, yet the most beneficial and satisfying connections arise when both parties are genuinely prepared, with choices stemming from a sense of healing rather than urgency. Time and contemplation are essential. Allowing oneself to navigate through grief, re-establish personal identity, and embrace solitude before pursuing a new relationship can significantly impact one's journey. If you decide to start dating again, take your time and move at a pace that feels right for you. Spend time reflecting on your genuine desires in a relationship and ensure that you are entering it for the appropriate motivations. Discuss your emotions with reliable friends or family, and don't let anyone's views pressure you, regardless of whether they believe it's too early or that you shouldn't be by yourself. The choice is entirely yours to make. Ultimately, the processes of grief and healing are profoundly individual experiences. Take your time. There are no time constraints, no due dates, and no guidelines to follow. Prioritizing your own well-being is essential, ensuring that when the moment arrives, any new relationship you pursue is grounded in strength, tranquility, and genuine partnership. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciating these insights, please drop a comment with the number 4 below to show me you're present. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you go ahead and subscribe and make sure to activate the bell so you won't miss any videos. Your assistance enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and motivates you. Now let's proceed. Number 5. Clinging to every item without releasing. One of the most challenging tasks after losing a spouse is determining what to do with their possessions. Each object carries its own story, and the idea of parting with them can evoke the pain of reliving those losses. Numerous widows and widowers face this challenge, holding on to every article of clothing, every personal item, and every little thing just as it was, fearing that altering or removing anything signifies wiping away the life they once had together. While it's natural to cling to memories, holding on to everything forever can sometimes intensify grief, hindering emotional healing and the capacity to progress. It's entirely normal to keep certain sentimental items. There's no guideline that dictates you must eliminate all your belongings. However, leaving a home completely unchanged for years, maintaining the closet just as it was, or refraining from making any alterations can transform a house into a monument of sorrow instead of a source of solace. As time passes, rather than fostering peace, it may act as a constant reminder of what has been lost, complicating the process of adapting to a new phase of life. Consider the situation of 76-year-old Harold. Following the death of his wife after 55 years together, he maintained everything just as she had arranged it. Her shoes lingered by the door, her clothes sat idle in the closet, and her beloved chair was left undisturbed. Initially, it seemed like a method to maintain her proximity. As time went on, he came to understand that passing by her unaltered possessions daily was preventing him from moving forward emotionally. He wasn't prepared to let go of it all. As he gradually began to part with some belongings, retaining only a handful of significant pieces, a feeling of relief washed over him. It wasn't about letting go. It was about creating space for recovery. Releasing something doesn't imply erasing it from memory or diminishing the love you hold. It signifies giving yourself room to exhale. Rather than pushing yourself to implement drastic changes, begin with minor adjustments. Select several significant mementos, such as a piece of jewelry, a handwritten note, or a cherished photo, and establish a dedicated area for them. When you feel prepared, start going through your other possessions, determining what genuinely matters and what is just occupying space. One common error individuals commit is succumbing to external pressure to dispose of items before they feel prepared to do so. Well-meaning friends or family might suggest that you should declutter or let go of things. This choice must always be determined according to your own schedule. If you're not prepared, take your time. Simultaneously, remember that clinging to everything due to guilt or fear might prolong your stay in sadness more than needed. There is also an emotional equilibrium in reusing instead of merely discarding. Many individuals take solace in repurposing an old shirt into a quilt, converting a series of letters into a keepsake book, or handing down cherished items to family members who will treasure them. In this manner, their existence lingers, yet it evokes a sense of comfort rather than mere sadness. In the end, grief transcends material possessions. It revolves around affection, recollections, and the connection you had. No item can substitute for a human being, yet holding on to all their possessions won't restore their presence either. Releasing, in gentle and intentional manners, does not equate to erasing memories. This is a move to pay tribute to their memory while allowing room for your own recovery. Progressing doesn't imply distancing from them. It essentially involves holding them close in a manner that enables both love and life to thrive together. Concluding remarks. The loss of a spouse ranks among the most deep and heart-wrenching experiences in life. It transforms everything: the manner in which you live, the way you perceive, and even how you envision the future. In times of sorrow, it's crucial to recognize that each choice you make can either support or obstruct your journey toward healing. That's why refusing these 5 things: hasty financial choices, self-isolation, ignoring your health, diving into a new relationship prematurely, and clinging to everything without embracing change, can greatly impact your capacity to progress with confidence and insight. There is no set schedule for grief, and each person's way of dealing with it is valid. However, it is clear that steering clear of these frequent mistakes can assist you in managing this phase of your life, while safeguarding both your emotions and your prospects. Healing involves remembering, and progressing doesn't equate to abandoning your partner. It signifies cherishing their memory in a manner that enables you to move forward with intention, tranquility, and even happiness in the days to come. What caught your attention the most? Which of these insights do you consider to be the most significant for your personal journey? We want to know your thoughts, so please drop a comment below and tell us one thing you discovered today and how you intend to apply it in your life. We value your input, so please feel free to express your thoughts. Your feedback inspires and uplifts us tremendously. If you appreciated this video and found it useful, kindly give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with others. Your assistance enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and motivates you. We appreciate your viewership and can't wait to have you join us for the next video.